Nurse whispered to Biker, "Your mother is screaming for you every night." What he did next shocked everyone. The fluorescent lights of Metobrook Garden Senior Care facility hummed with a sterile, indifferent buzz, a sound that often masked the quieter, more heartbreaking noises of the night. For Lena, a dedicated nurse with eyes that had seen too much suffering and a heart that refused to grow numb, the nights were the hardest. But nothing prepared her for the chilling patterns she began to uncover in room 304. Eleanor Vance was a gentle soul, trapped in the silent prison of advanced dementia. She could no longer speak, her voice stolen by time and illness, yet every night between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m., the hallway would echo with her blood-curdling screams. The official logbook, signed by the night aides Carol and Mark, dismissed these episodes as severe night terrors or confusion. But Lena knew better. She had listened closely. These weren't the random cries of a confused mind. They were rhythmic, punctuated by pauses that sounded terrifyingly like pleading, followed by a sudden sharp cutoff. Lena began to keep a secret log. Her handwriting grew tighter as the days passed. Every single scream coincided perfectly with Carol and Mark's shift. The breaking point came when Lena was helping Eleanor bathe one morning. As she gently rolled up the elderly woman's sleeve to check an IV line, Lena's breath hitched. There, stark against Eleanor's paper-thin skin, was a crescent-shaped bruise on her wrist, the unmistakable mark of fingernails digging in too hard. That afternoon, Lena marched into the office of Mrs. Gable, the facility supervisor. She presented her log, showed the photograph of the bruise, and pleaded for an investigation. Mrs. Gable didn't even look up from her paperwork. "Lena," she said coldly, "Metobrook has a reputation to maintain. Elderly patients bruise easily. If you go spreading rumors about our staff based on hunches, you might find yourself without a job. Let it go." Let it go? Lena couldn't, not while Eleanor was screaming in the dark. Desperate and realizing the system was rigged against them, Lena turned to the one person who loved Eleanor more than life itself, her son, Jax Vance. Jax was not what people expected when they heard the name Vance. He was a towering figure, clad in leather, his arms covered in tattoos, the president of the Iron Sages Motorcycle Club. To the staff at Metobrook, he was an intimidating biker who visited daily, always bringing a fresh gardenia, his mother's favorite flower, and whispering stories of his day to her unresponsive form. They judged him by his cut, missing the tenderness in his eyes. One evening, as Jax sat by Eleanor's bedside, adjusting the petals of the gardenia, Lena approached him. Her hands trembled. "Jax," she whispered, glancing nervously at the security camera in the corner. "We need to talk. It's about your mother. She isn't having night terrors. Someone is hurting her." She told him everything. The timing of the screams, the dismissal by management, the crescent bruise. As Lena spoke, Jax's face transformed. The softness vanished, replaced by a storm of quiet, lethal rage. He stood up, the chair scraping loudly against the floor. "They are hurting my mama?" he asked, his voice low and dangerous, "while I sit here thinking she's just sick?" "Lena," Jax said, gripping her shoulder with a hand that could crush stone but held her with infinite care. "You did the right thing. Now we finish this." They devised a plan that blurred the lines between justice and vengeance. Lena provided Jax with the facility's blueprints, the blind spots in the security coverage, and the exact schedule of Carol and Mark. In return, Jax handed Lena a small device disguised as a USB charger. "It's a high-definition microphone and camera," he explained. "Plant it in her room tonight. I'll handle the rest." That night, the air in Metobrook felt heavy with impending reckoning. At 1:55 a.m., Carol and Mark entered room 304, locking the door behind them. They thought they were alone with a helpless old woman. They didn't know the USB charger on the bedside table was watching. Through the hidden lens, they saw Mark pinch Eleanor's arm until she whimpered, and heard Carol mockingly say, "Scream all you want, nobody cares, you're just a burden." Suddenly, the door flew open. Jax Vance filled the doorway, his silhouette blocking the hall light. He didn't shout. He simply walked in, holding up his phone, recording their terrified faces. "I care," Jax said, his voice shaking the very foundations of the room, "and the whole world is about to hear exactly what you did." Carol and Mark tried to run, but Jax's club brothers, who had been waiting silently in the parking lot as per the plan, ensured no one left the building until the police arrived. The footage was undeniable. Within hours, Carol and Mark were in handcuffs, their careers and freedom shattered. Mrs. Gable was soon implicated for covering up the abuse and faced severe legal consequences. In the aftermath, the darkness that had hung over room 304 lifted. Jax moved his mother to a specialized, highly rated hospice where she was treated with the dignity she deserved. For 2 more years, Eleanor lived in peace, surrounded by love, passing away gently with Jax holding her hand and Lena standing quietly by her side, a tear tracing its way down her cheek. But the story didn't end with Eleanor's passing. Jax sold his custom bike shop, pouring the proceeds, along with a substantial lawsuit settlement, into creating the Eleanor Foundation. It became a beacon of hope, a nonprofit dedicated to investigating elder abuse and advocating for the voiceless. Lena left her job at Metobrook to become the Foundation's lead investigator, using her keen eye to protect others. The Iron Sages, once known only for their roaring engines and tough exterior, reinvented themselves as the guardians of local hospices. They patrolled the halls not to intimidate, but to ensure safety. Every year, thousands of bikers gather for Eleanor's Ride, a charity event that snakes through the countryside, raising millions for senior care. At the head of the pack rides Jax, wearing a patch that reads "Speak Up," honoring the nurse who whispered the truth and the mother whose silence was finally broken. This story reminds us that heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they wear scrubs, and sometimes they wear leather. It teaches us that kindness requires courage, and that no one is too small to be heard if someone brave enough stands up for them. If you believe in the power of kindness and the importance of giving second chances, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more emotional stories that touch the heart. Your support helps us spread hope to millions around the globe. Don't forget to tell us in the comments where you are watching from. We love connecting with our global family. Thanks for watching.